My name is Sonia Sharma. I was born in Penang, the beautiful island Penang. I was 13 years old when I moved to Canada from Penang. One day after school in university, I went to a coffee shop and I heard two girls having a conversation. They were very young, about 14 or 15 years old girls. When I was hearing the conversation, their conversation was about self-image and body image, and they said that they were being bullied in school because they don't look a certain type. They didn't want to go to their school dance because they just don't want to embarrass themselves. They can't find a date. When I looked at the kids, I said, the first thought that came to my mind, I said, I have a lot of cousins at home, and none of them look like each other. They all look different. They all have different body shape. They all have different height. I was terrified that what if one of my cousins felt that way, and what if they feel insecure to speak out and tell out to other people that this is how they felt. So when I went home, I researched on how I can make a change, because I know that I have an idea, I know that I have the voice, but how do I make it happen? So while I was searching, I came up across the international pageant, independent pageant, Miss United Nations pageant. And while I was searching there, I didn't know that I already had the director of that pageant on my Facebook monitoring me for a year. So they were already on my page monitoring me for a year, knowing whatever I posted and everything. They already had an idea of what I was posting. So I sent out a message to the director of the pageant, and I said that, Mr. Leon, this is my platform. I'm joining the pageant, and I would like to join the pageant to encourage other youth and other people that beauty comes in all shapes and sizes, and it's important for us to reinforce that idea among our youth. And then I applied for Miss Manitoba for the province, and before even I could apply, they did a huge background search on me. They interviewed my references. They messaged the other people on my Facebook page to see what kind of person I am. They did a research on me behind my back without me knowing of the person I am and if I can represent their company and their brand. Then after that, I got the news that I've been selected for Miss Manitoba. Now, the next thing was Miss Canada. I was excited that I got Miss Manitoba, but I didn't let anyone know at that time. I said, let me just hold on and see how far I can go. Maybe I was insecure, I'm not sure. Why I didn't tell anyone about winning Miss Manitoba. When I got the call that, okay, you've been selected for Miss Canada Tourism, that's when I told everyone, and everyone was surprised. When I told everyone I won Miss Canada, I got mixed reviews. Some good, some bad. A lot of people said that you shouldn't be Miss Canada, you're too short. You should pull out your name. There's no way that you can win. Why are you, you're just gonna insult yourself. And I said, at that time, I felt very insecure. Then I remembered that I've already become Miss Canada. My whole reason of joining this pageant is so that I can reinforce the idea that beauty comes in all shapes and sizes. And despite the odds being in my favor, I'm already Miss Canada. I don't look like a typical pageant woman. I look like an ordinary girl walking down the street, and that's my whole idea. I want people to know that just because someone else hasn't done it doesn't mean you cannot do it. Just because another short contestant hasn't been to a been to an international level pageant doesn't mean you can't do it. So I took the risk and I did it. And then I spoke to my family. Every day I would call them and say, should I do this? Should I do this? From my grandmother, from my uncles, my aunts, till my youngest cousin. They all say, you've come this far. You're an inspiration to us. Through them, because I'm not here physically in Malaysia, through them I heard that other people in Malaysia within the community are telling them that we're proud of Sonia, tell her that we're proud of her. And that kept on reinforcing my belief that I can do this. After, for the final week, when I went to Jamaica for the final, as soon as I landed at the airport, we had the new Miss United Nations pageant host that came to pick us up, I looked around and I saw that girls, all beautiful girls, all very inspirational. I was maybe up to their shoulder. I looked at them, I said, maybe I don't know how this is going to be. Maybe they'll put me in the back, nobody is gonna see me. Then we went, our first assignment was meeting the Governor General of Jamaica. And then I said, oh, what if he doesn't see me? I'm so short, what if he doesn't see me? Then I said, okay, you know what? In my head, I kept saying to myself, great things come in small packages. Great things come in small packages. So when I went there, we took a group shot. And to my advantage, because I was the shortest, I was always beside him. Everyone else, the tall one, had to go behind. I had to be right next to him. I said, okay, see? Like my negativity, I could have used it to a positive way. So I used that to a positive way. And after that, every event that we went to, I was front, right, and center. When we did our presentation, when we did our final walk, every other person was walking with 3 people. I walked the runway alone. And now when I reflect back, I think that this belief, I'm very happy that I didn't stop. I didn't let any negativity stop. Because my story, especially now that New Year resolution, a lot of people are thinking about their New Year resolution, this is a really good time for me to come back and tell everyone that just because someone else doesn't do it, doesn't mean you cannot try. You have to try, you have to do it. When you drive on a road, there are going to be bumps, but doesn't mean you're gonna take a U-turn back. Just similarly, in your career, doesn't matter what kind of career, school, what kind of field you're in, there are going to be some bumps. But don't let that bump revert your direction. A lot of us have insecurities. Sometimes we think that we're the only ones suffering from that kind of insecurities. But when I was at Jamaica, I listened to a few stories of other girls. I realized that I could be in Malaysia and another girl could be in Singapore or even Syria. We share similar insecurities, but just because we are silent, just because the story hasn't been told, people think that we are the only ones suffering from it. Now I've got some target inside. I wanna be a star. I went in as Miss United Nations, Miss Canada Tourism. When they were announcing the winner for Miss Tourism, my name wasn't announced. And I thought, oh, maybe I didn't win anything. But I was still standing in the line. Then there was 3 girls standing in the line. And they said, okay, the Miss United Nations Ambassador 2014 goes to Miss Canada. And I looked. And I told myself before the pageant that I'm not going to act surprised. I'm not going to act like Aishwarya Rai and go like this. But I was really surprised, and I did act a little like Aishwarya Rai. And I was surprised because for that division, to be a Miss United Nations Ambassador, the pageant director, the judges had to pick someone among all the divisions. So they could have picked a Mr. United Nations Ambassador. They could have picked someone from Miss or Miss Teen or Mrs. So from all this title is open to all the categories. So I was very surprised.